Individual matches soon as the field is ready.
Hello, we are back here, and today or this afternoon we have on the schedule of the Para-Archery World Cup ranking event the individual matches, and we need to find out who is getting to the gold and bronze final. So thank you for being here with me again.
I'm more than happy to be here.
I mean, after the great weather, and we were talking that this tournament actually all the rain was still good. There were no other issues. I mean, after this warm-up session, I'm not really sure if it's clear in the videos, but we have now some serious heavy rain for the warm-up. How is it to shoot in this?
Shooting in rain is always different because sometimes you have rain combined with other factors like wind. But today it looks it looks like it's just rain. But it certainly does affect your arrows. So if you have trained all week in quite good weather and you have a sight mark for those shots, once it starts to rain like this in particular, it does change your where your arrow eventually ends up, and you need to adjust to that.
I mean, at the moment, it's, I would say, like a small rain compared to what it was when they happened to start shoot. So I would believe that everybody on the shooting line, including the coaches and judges, is now completely wet because it was very heavy rain. Now it's really like double less the size of the raindrops. So does it affect you when you shoot and you are already wet? It's not quite warm today, so you start to get a bit chilly, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely important to stay warmed up. I would say if you're shooting a qualification round with 72 arrows, then you're prone to get cold, and so that will start to affect your muscles and how much energy you can use for the entire day. For something like head-to-heads, sometimes the adrenaline, for me anyway, brings me through, so I don't even realize that I am wet. And it's only when I stop and I cool down between matches that it starts to affect me. So, provided these archers can stay as warm as possible, the rain should be okay for a short amount of time.
All right, and what's your tips and tricks? Do you tend to get to shoot in like a rain jacket, or you just still stay in your t-shirt and just become wet?
For me, I stay in my t-shirt. Some archers can compete in a rain jacket, but actually, the way that I'm set up in my wheelchair, if I'm wearing something shiny like a jacket or it's something that moves between my body and the chair, when I'm strapped into the chair with my body strapping, I actually move. I'm not a stable base in my wheelchair.
All right.
And so I prefer to be in a t-shirt that's very close to my skin so that the strap is doing its job and actually what it's there for. So my preference is to shoot in a t-shirt, but every archer is different.
Yeah, I mean also like your nationality, you being Irish. I would say also like it depends on the country. We would expect that Great Britain loves this type of weather, and now I expect some good scores from them.
Yeah, you would think so. They've got plenty of opportunity to train in this kind of weather.
Yeah, it's the natural habitat for them. On the other hand, I think for example, we can see Iran here. I would not really believe that this is the type of weather they would choose for world competition.
No, they would. They definitely. I'm not sure how much rainfall they experience during outdoor competition season, at least.
No, very true, very true. But I mean, we can see that the rain is slowly stopping, and maybe we will actually have the rest of the day like without the rain. But no matter what, everybody is for sure like super wet at the moment.
Affected. But the other thing that happens when the rain stops suddenly after your 3 ends of practice is now you have your arrows. Your sight mark is now different again because your
Yeah.
conditions are not torrential rain.
The string is full of water, and so we would say that at the beginning, until they really adjust, all the arrows most of the time will have the tendency to drop a little down.
Yes.
So we will see. Actually, for the first match of this afternoon, we have a recurve man open, and we have Dion Fabrik and Mikola Halisic. And we will for sure keep you updated with the other scores, because at the moment we have basically all categories shooting the individual matches, and they actually are now in 1/8 final, and of course everybody wants to win, so let's keep it track.
They do. It's into the last kind of the last stages of the tournament, and everybody wants to stay in.
So in the morning we have team rounds. Now we go back to individual. So in our case, for a recurve, we go back to the set system, and again 6 points is the number we want to see. And we can see 8 for both. It's actually, I would say that for Slovenia is one of the first para-archer I saw in the world tournaments.
That's true. It's for me, I rarely see the shirt, and so it's good to see that more teams are getting involved in para-archery, and it can only grow the sport overall.
No, super true. I mean, it's always nice to see that some country starts to be on this level, and I mean, at the moment, like 8, 10.
Yeah, he did very well there, playing 8-6 for Ukraine.
Where did they hide him? You know?
Just at the very right time, just before Tokyo.
Unfortunately, he didn't qualify, but maybe he will get lucky enough to be in the podiums. We will have a look.
Yeah, maybe. Or he poses a danger to everybody for the next competition. He's just letting everybody know he's here.
True. Oh, that's the tactic you choose at the moment.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, at the moment, we can see that he's in the lead with 2 points. 2 set points. We will, of course, keep you updated on the other scores, but we have to wait for them to go score. And we can see that some archers are walking and going to get their score and score it by themselves, but as well you can see a lot of coaches and agents to mark it for the rest of the athletes, because it's not just the wheelchairs. We can see that the Slovenian archer is using the stool, but for him it would be very tiring, I would say, to walk back and forth.
Yeah, I think it should be quite close to how archers practice at home. For me, I am lucky I have actually got tarmac at home at enough distance for 50 meters, so I can go to the target on my own. However, competition trying to push over grass or different terrain, I'd waste too much energy doing that, and so I have a team manager with me for just that.
Nice. And I mean, you tend to have the target when you shoot at home, I guess, very low, so you can pull up the arrows, or you put it normally as you would go?
The target face for me is at just the tip of my fingers. So if I can get the arrows out at the tip of my fingers, then it's okay. I try to set it as close to what I would experience in competition, so that I know what my sight mark is going to be, while still being able to
So
reach
it's actually
it.
a good trick, like, you know, that you cannot really go up because then you cannot pull it. So it's extra
Yes.
pressure for you to stay in the center of the target
Exactly.
to be able to actually shoot more.
Otherwise, I have to wait for somebody and ask them, "Hey, would you take that arrow
I
out for
have
me,
two up
please?"
there. All right, we have a first scores coming in, and we will start from the beginning, of course. For the compound men, we have a nice 30 from Matteo Bonacina. Um, he's shooting against Bülent Korkmaz from Turkey, and he gets 27 points. Another 30 goes to Julie Chupin, which we saw actually in the mixed team.
We did, and we'll see her again a little bit later.
Very nice opening with a 30. And actually, that was the only two 30s. Then we have a few 29 points. 129 goes to Ramezan Biabani from Iran, and he's shooting with 1 point lead over Nathan McQueen from Great Britain. Daniel Lelu, another one which we saw in that mixed team with 29 points, shooting over Ken Schwagumilang from Indonesia. And on the W1 part, we can see David Drahoninski, 1 point lead, 28 points versus 27 against Salvatore Demetrico from Italy. And with our recurve, Elisabetta Migno, 2 point lead over Emma Rose Revish. And another points, for example, for Margarita Sidorenko, 2-0. It's actually like Russian duel. Margarita shoots over her teammate Svetlana Barantseva. So we will see who will be the winner of this this match.
It'll be as tightly contested as if they were playing against anybody else, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we have actually another friendly match, let's say, with Turkey. Mervenur Eroglu shooting versus Sengul Yagmur. And Sengul is actually currently winning 2 points. And recurve men open. We have, for example, Stefano Travisani with 2 point lead over Timothy Palumbo. And we are about to start the next round, and we return back to our match with Dejan Fabric and Mikola Halisic. Let's see how interesting it will be.
Yeah, again, we go back to the set points for the recurves. So it definitely is, every end is an opportunity. So we have a 9, an 8 comes up then from Ukraine.
Yeah, but I mean, they both shoot pretty strongly. You can see that the Slovenian archer has actually very good technique.
Very solid, very strong.
We were actually talking in the morning about the difference, and you can see that they are both trying to really like pull up their front arm and just let it go to nice 9. I like these matches which are quite close to each other, and it's always like this 1 point difference. So there's no clear winner from the very beginning, and it's really like full of matches. And even though it's like 1 point win in the end or over the total, it always makes it like very interesting thing to watch.
It's nail biting for the viewer to watch.
Yes. And what about the coaches?
I know. I can only imagine. They're not shooting, but they're so invested in what eventually happens. They're almost shooting the arrow with the archer.
But you just cannot affect it anyhow. And I mean, we tied this one, so we split up the points. So we go 1 point to each, but still, Slovenian archer, he has the 2 point lead in the beginning. So we will see how this turns out.
And you can see when you watch coaches there, you can see their expressions and you can see almost that the muscles that the archer is meant to be using, they're tensing them in a certain way. And then if you have your large teams, even they're behind going through exactly the same emotions.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that even when you have a very stressy tournament like we had yesterday with the qualifier, I would say in the big teams, and especially when it's the same country competing next to each other, sometimes the coaches have the tendency to just like leave the two because they know they don't want to help the other over the another, so they will just like let them go and kind of watch it from the distance, or maybe not to watch it at all, just to keep their nerves.
Watching through their closed fingers.
Exactly. Just rather to have a less stress and just come back with the result. Because at some moments it's very like the archers and the coaches are under big pressure. I would not say that is the case in this round, because to be honest, this tournament was more about the Tokyo qualifiers than about actually the world ranking tournament itself.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. And a lot of archers, my country included, don't travel to a lot of the world ranking events because we're self-funded, and so we prioritize going to qualifiers for Paralympic Games, and so that is that's the one that everyone is kind of eyeing and trying to get the better
Yeah,
of.
I mean, of course, you need to be kind of economical at this time. On the other hand, like it's 3-in-1 competition this week because we had the Continental for Europe, we have the final qualifier for everybody in the world, and now we have the world ranking. So since you are here, let's just enjoy all of them. And I mean, we had some great matches over the week, even a good qualification scores for some. And now the weather seems to be very nice again.
It is. But it is brilliant, even though, it is quite a full-on schedule, having the 3 competitions in one. It's almost like the lottery. Okay, you get all of the competitions now this week, all of them.
Yeah, it's also kind of economical,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we have some score coming in, and Matteo Bonacina, after his first 30, he's topping with 29, so he's getting pretty decent score. It looks like he likes the rain at the beginning, and another 59 points with nice 30 this time. Viktor Skliblin from Russia. And W1 man, David Drahoninsky, 55, and Salvatore Demetrico, 30 points this time, so 57 points for him. Igor Meshkov and Denis Ten, the Russian duel in W1, 54 tied up. So again, like we have so many matches with the same countries in this round. It's super hard to coach these matches, I would say.
It is, and it's super hard when you have teammates who are standing behind supporting, who do they specifically cheer for? I think in that case they just have to shout for the particular country rather than
Yeah.
any specific athletes. There might be some conversations on the bus on the way home.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, sometimes it's also good then just don't cheer to anybody and just like let it go.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in this case, for example, in the Turkey match, Sengul Yagmur is winning 0-4. So I would say it would not be really a fair play and a good friendship if they now start to cheer for the other one which is losing, because it's kind of like there's no good and bad way who to cheer for at the moment when you have your teammates, and usually we have like three teams, or like 3 members of ladies, for example, then we have 3 men. And when these 2 are together, the other one could drop down, then she's usually the one cheering, for example. And then it's very hard to choose. And as you
Yes.
say, the best political one is to go, let's go Turkey in this case.
It's better to be politically correct.
Yeah. And I mean, we have, for example, our Kevin Mather with Bato Tsirinhorziev tied 2-2. And those of you who heard us yesterday, Kevin was here with me commentating. So now we can hope he will do good. And he will made it up to the final. But we will see how he will end up. And actually, Bato is also from Russia, and then a few targets from the side. Anton Zapaev from Russia versus Eric Bennett, Kevin's teammate, and also 2-2.
Yes.
So it looks like these duels are very personal at the moment. Okay, let's come back to the match which we are watching as we start to shoot again. I think it's a 9-liner.
I think it looks like a
Yeah.
liner to me. And matches.
It's the same one. I think if this would be the measured shoot-off, I think it will be the same, and we would go for another one. You can see that some archers are using both eyes to aim. He's closing one eye just to get the better sight. And if you look at the Mikola, he's using both eyes. Ah, that was too fast.
No. Needs to just reset himself and go again, but he has plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, 50 seconds left for true arrows is way too comfortable.
Yes. No need to panic.
Nice 8. And what about Dijon? Ah, it's the same 6. So it looked like the same mistake. Or maybe his string got dry.
Potentially. I do like his setup. He's quite calm when he's preparing. And a 9 from the Ukrainian
Okay,
archer.
so we start kind of like over 3-3.
Yes.
Everything is open again.
Right down to the wire. They're going to make this as enjoyable for us to commentate on as possible.
Yeah, and I mean behind we can see David Ivan. He's from Slovakia, and he was actually one of them lucky ones to get a quota place in the continental tournament. And at the moment he's winning 3-1 versus Gholam Reza Rahimi from Iran.
And also this, after finishing the quota places, having this competition, this part of the competition if you're still in, it's good practice for Tokyo again, making sure that you have everything, all the kinks worked out.
Yeah, and I mean, after you get the place secured, you just like open up, you are free, and you can just finally shoot, you know, finally do what you like to do. And usually it shows up in the score as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're not tense. You're not pushing bow arms, and yeah, no, it's much nicer to see a comfortable, happy archer compete than someone who's so tense and trying.
For sure.
Seems to have dried up nicely now, actually.
Yeah, I mean, now, if we would start this not even an hour late, like this half an hour late, it would be even a great individual part for the for all of the archers.
But I think everybody has put their umbrellas away.
Yeah, even the clouds are clearing down. No more black clouds anymore.
No. Oh, and we have we have some crowd members cheering on the
Yeah.
sidelines.
39, Alshevska from Turkey. Moving themselves to the quarterfinals of the World
I mean, in this case, David Ivan actually got only 19 points. So therefore, Homareza Rahimi tied up to 3-3. So he needs a support now.
He does.
Because after the strong ends, he needs more and more people to support him. And I mean, Slovakia is the neighboring country, so it's not so difficult to get here with a lot of coaches.
Yes.
All right, and we have a first winners in this round. Milana Alshevska from Poland, 6-0 win. Margarita Sidorenko beat her teammate Svetlana Barantseva 6-0. And also the Turkey duel, Sengul Yagmur was more lucky, and with 6-0 win, she's going on. So it looks like only women wants to go to change the dry clothes.
Yes.
Because they did, except 2 matches, they are the only ones who are finished. And it looks like men's are fine with the rain.
Yeah.
Wet clothes. Because none of them wants to close it at the at now.
Or maybe they're just really enjoying this 1/8. They want to stay here as
One
long
of the
as
last
possible.
possibility to shoot, to still compete.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like even for judges, they don't mind the wet grass
No.
at the moment. They are walking pretty fresh at the moment. Yeah, and we can see some preparation on the shooting line. And let's see, any tips? Who will get the points now?
Oh, do I have to make a bet or a guess?
You don't have to, but you could. Or any wishes, you know, that can also be. Like if you want to tie up or...
You know what I was saying about being politically correct earlier?
Yeah, sure. No, we just want the good score.
Yes.
And there it is!
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive.
Very true, very true. And how Mikula will answer. Aye. Yeah, that was the front arm which just moved to the side.
He has some work to do now to try and get this back.
But I think like a little similar situation was the one end before with Dejan with this 2 6s.
I think so.
And now he's back in track with perfect 9, grouping.
A moment to discuss it with his coach, and now he knows how to fix it. Oh, but a nice follow-up from Mikola.
Sometimes it feels like that they just need to get the bad arrow in order to return back to the normal shooting.
Yes. You got that out of your system. Let's not do that again.
It's kind of also release the pressure out of you. Because then you are like, there's nothing to lose, let's just shoot. I think that's a 7.
Yeah, I think it's just beyond the 8 liner.
Okay, very nice 9 again. But it's still not enough to take the 2 points.
It is not.
And as we are no longer in the teams, 5 is still not enough.
No, we need to wait and see another round. At least.
Yeah. So either Dijon will win or we will have a shoot-off.
Mhm.
So it will be very interesting to watch the game, and also the Slovakian fans, if they are happy or not, who will take the 2 points now. I mean, at the moment we don't see really the big cheering.
No, they're relatively quiet, except for their presence with their flags and scarves.
But I think it's only for us, for the TV and for the viewers at home. Because, I mean, it was a similar situation. 3-3, like in the match we just watched. So somebody needs to get the 5 point at the moment. But we can also have a tie, 4-4. And we can go on.
That's true.
So we will just wait for some scores to pop in. Meanwhile, we can have a look on the round before. In W1 men, we have a tied match between Ku Dong-sup and Momodretsa Zandi from Iran. 77 points tied. And the first scores are coming in. And a very tight match with Sergey Atamenko and Aima Yutaka. Only 1 point lead for the Japanese archer. Also 1 point lead for Ken Schwagumelang from Indonesia. 115 versus 114 for Daniel Lelou, our French shooter, who actually with his 10 secured the win of the team for the shoot-off.
There's a number of fighters out there who've shot 30s on that last end.
Yeah, I mean, Alisina Menzhararech from Iran. Look at the score, 28, 28, 30, 30.
Yeah.
And a very strong lead at the moment, 116 versus 107 for Ben Thompson.
And with the compounds, with cumulative scores, we go to 5 ends. So we'll see how we get, who's the best out of 150 points.
So true. I mean, if we have a look down to the W-man category, we can see also some very tight matches. David Raheninsky 108, Salvatore Demetrico 109. So also like this tight matches. And Ku Dong-sup with 29 points in this end, so 106 versus 105 versus Mohammad Reza Zandi. And yeah, as I said, like the ladies really wants to finish this. So Elisabetta Mignot from Italy, 6-2 win over Emma Rose Ravish. Roxolana Zobaballan, 6-2 win. And Petrinli Vincenza, 6-2. But also some men choose to finish their matches. And we have Park Jung-bom from Korea, Tukule Jeom, 6-2. Stefano Travesiani, 6-2 win over Timothy Palumbo. And Sadik Savas from Turkey, 7-1 win. And I mean, as I can hear in the tent, the rain start again.
Yes. But interesting, we can see Eric Bennett's scores. He's started from behind and has now passed his opponent, Anton
Zapayev.
Zapayev from Russia. You see, you've more practice at pronouncing the names than I do.
Yeah, like you need to read it more often. And
I do.
then you just like come close to back to it. And our Slovakian colleague back there in the images, David Ivan, also he's getting 2 points now, so 5-3 for him. And let's go to the last end. We will either have a shoot-off or some winners. So, also our Kevin Matter and Batocitin Horziev 4-4.
I know, tight battle.
So, very strong matches. I mean, on the recurve side. And in W1 man, one more close match. Karel Davidek 104 and Nihat Turkmelangu from Turkey 103. So let's see how the rest of the matches will finish. This is the last end for all categories, especially for the compound, but also for the recurve we need to find out if we will have a shoot-off or not. Oh, that's a nice X.
That is a very nice arrow to start with.
Especially when you and your opponent are shooting to the same target.
Yes.
But this is the response you should get.
Exactly. A nice response for us as spectators.
Yeah. Especially for us. I mean, look at the Slovakian team. They just want to see the score.
We had a slight wobble. Dejan, he just needs to...
But still, you know, it was in the 8th. And before we can see that he can do it up to 6.
Yes.
So still quite fine. And his opponent 7. So very similar results at the moment. This can be the decision already, even without shooting Mikola. Oh, it's too long. Yep, 5 there.
So Mikola just needs to stay calm.
Yep. He can do bad shot, but a good one as well. And that's another 7.
Okay.
And that should be enough to get a shoot-off.
Yes.
I mean, this is the part and when you will either win it or gave it to the opponent. And I think Dejan gave this one.
He might have been thinking about it too much. So now is the opportunity. You just have one arrow. You can go through the process and...
no time to think because of the time limit.
Yes. Actually, it's my preferred shot is the shoot off.
So for you, 5 ends of 3 arrows is still not enough?
No.
Still, that one extra arrow should be the one.
Yeah, there's something about it. There's something about winning on a shoot off that just stays with you.
That's true. That's true. I mean, then you are left alone there. Everybody needs to watch you. Everybody's kind of praying, cheering for you. Maybe that's the part why you like the shoot-off so much.
Maybe that's it.
And you have finally the big team again around you.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, the Slovakian team doesn't look really happy. Maybe they also get a shoot-off.
Potentially. I wish
because
we
David
had...
was actually winning. And at the moment, maybe we will find out sooner from the judges if there will be a shoot-off or not, because actually both of these matches are quite interesting. And yes, we have a shoot-off, and actually more of them, even on our Anton Zapoyev and Eric Bennett match, 5-5. Kevin Matter, your or my previous commentator, actually made it to another round.
Great.
So he won over Batocitin Horziev, and both Slovakian David Ivan and also this match which we are watching, shoot-off before I was actually mentioning also the men W1 tied match and another shootout for Karel Davidek and Nihat Turkmenoglu in the W1 men. Another shootouts will happen for Ken Schwangumelang and Daniel Lelou, our French guy, and Victor Scribbling and Firintasia from Indonesia, and another shoot-off. So actually a lot of them at the moment.
We have a lot to watch this time now. We'll be looking up and down the line to see if we can see, before everybody else, who the winners are.
Very true. I mean, for compound men, we had the #1 ranked Ber Shigalev from Russia, and with a nice score over 28, 30, 30, 29, 29, he secured a win over Gary Robinson with 146 points. Matteo Bonacina also coming to the next round with 144 points. Nathan McQueen coming on with 144 points. Alisina Mansharade from Iran, 146 points. Sergey Atamenko, 141 points. And Neil Gattin with 143 points. In the ladies compound, Jessica Stratton continues, as well as Stepanida Artakinova. Carmen Rubio, one of the Tokyo qualifiers from yesterday, she made it also to a new round. Farzanek Arsgari and Onzur Küre from Turkey, as well as Julie Chupin, our French girl from the mixed team we watched earlier today. And as we are still preparing for the shoot-off, we can continue with some winners. Yormulas Sevgi from Turkey, Maria Andrea Virgilio from Italy, Salvatore Demetrico, Igor Meshkov from Russia, Bahanti Heiklimoglu from Turkey, Gaspar Tomas from Hungary, Igit Kaner Aydin from Turkey, Ko Dung Sup Korea, and Alexei Lenov from Russia. Those are the ones who continue, and for the rest we need to wait for the shoot-off. And we just need to wait for some target exchanges for the judges to make sure that they are able to measure just in case it's needed. And then we will watch again what's happening.
All of the assistants running up and down with their target faces.
Yeah, I mean, they need to speed up the process, but no matter what, we still need to wait for the judge to walk the back, so... But they are marching rather fast, so... And the rain is again over?
I think so. I think it's going to be what we have for this afternoon. It'll be raining and then...
Actually, this is the perfect time for the face masks because you are not really sweating, and this is the only part when it's actually very interesting. And we can get some heartbeat there.
I'm sure everyone's heart rate is going.
Especially the long wait, you know, the target changes, that puts more time when you start to think about it.
We're just about to start now.
Yep. Okay, one arrow should be enough. Just in rare cases when they are really the same, we need to measure.
And
9. That could be enough, but we know that both of them can do the strong 10. And there it is!
There's the 10!
So Mikola actually get the win. And as we can say, like from the previous end, I mean, Dejan just gave the options to do the shoot-off, and it looked like Slovakian were cheering also.
I think they're very excited. So, does that answer who won that match?
I would say so, but let's rather double check with the judges and then later on with the scores. But it looks like it's also decided there. And what about the Eric Bennett match with Anton Zapaev?
I couldn't quite see or hear emotions from Russia or the USA, so I couldn't tell you right now.
Okay, and we can see on the target 47, which is the Iran and Slovakia match. So it should be clear. The hard part is I didn't see the arrows of who belongs to who.
That's true.
So now we just need to wait a bit for the judges' arms.
They're congratulating each other though, so it's
And in Eric Bennett and Anton Zapaev, it looks like we need to measure
oh.
because both arrows look pretty close. So let's just wait for the judges' approval. And I'm trying to even look back there for the W1 judge to signal, and it looks like Anton Zapaev had it closer than Eric Bennett. So I mean, with a measured shoot-off, there is nothing really what you can do.
No. The ruler doesn't lie, unfortunately, for the measuring tape.
Yeah, that's, I mean, very sad. And what about the other ones? We are still missing the scores there, and we need to find out. To be honest, I missed the judge's hand on the W1 category, so we need to wait. It looks like Slovakians are like really excited.
They're 15 minutes of fame on the big screen, right?
For sure, for sure. I mean, some are getting ready. Milana Alshevska over there. And we can see that there was also very close shoot-off with W1 category. And it was just closest to the center, both nines. So Karel Davidek won over Nihat Turkmelonglu, which is good for me as he's from the Czech Republic.
Yes, exactly. You have to cheer on your own countrymen.
Yeah, and this time I'm allowed to cheer, so
Yes.
it's always a great thing. And we still miss the scores for the other two.
I have to adopt a country, I think, to cheer for.
We can always like get some chances, but like we can see on the coach that since he's taking down the jacket, I guess like the rain is gone, he started to be warm enough.
Or he means business. One or the other.
So true. And yeah, it's confirmed. David Ivan from Slovakia, he shot 9, and Rahimi from Iran only 8. So that's confirmed. That's why Slovakians were super happy.
Yes.
And
As they
now we
should be.
still wait for the score for Eric Bennett and Anton Zapaev. But as we see the judge's arm after the measure, it should be Anton Zapaev. But
And in the women's recurve open, Dorothea won her match, and she secured a quota place here as well.
true, very
Yes.
true. Greece got the spot. I think it's actually the only one. Let me double check. But I think it's the only Greece archer who will actually go to the Paralympics this year in archery. Yeah, it's actually true. She's the only one. So it should be great week for her.
Yes, so exciting.
The national hero comes home.
Hmm.
Lot of glory. And yeah, it's confirmed. Anton Zapayev gets the point closer to Eric Bennett. And I mean, we saw the arrows were so close to each other,
Yes.
but this is just a bit of luck on Anton's side. I mean, for Eric, I think he won a lot of things already in his career.
I know, but you always want to win the next thing, right?
For sure, for sure.
And when it is such small margins, you get to thinking, what if I just did this, or what if I just did this?
Yeah, but the more you think, the more you are everywhere else than in the center.
Yes, exactly.
So we are waiting for another round. We have 2 more rounds to go for today's matches until we find out after the semifinals who will be tomorrow in the gold match and who will be in the bronze match, and who we will actually not see anymore for the rest of this tournament. And we just need to wait for the volunteers to change the targets, because we have some changes in the field setup. How do you feel when you are on the shooting line, because you stay there basically all the time once you shoot? How do you feel when there are these times when the volunteers are changing the field and there is this like gap when you cannot really do anything?
For me, I do a lot of visualization and a lot of breathing exercises. So I want to be as centered as possible. It gives me a bit of time to refocus. So it's okay for me. But other archers who want to just get straight into the next round and want to get going, I'm sure the volunteers are a bit of a distraction. For me, the only problem is when we were out shooting and the sun was coming down and it was so hot, and you think, can we please hurry up? Can I get out of the heat?
So true. I mean, some are still using the umbrellas, even though it's sunny, even though it's rainy. It's still the problem. And I mean, the worst part is for W1s,
Yes.
because they could not really sweat, so they kind of like boil inside.
Yeah.
And once it's cold, it's also very hard for them, because they are freezing super soon. Unlike our normal body temperature, they could not really regulate it.
Yes.
It's sometimes very similar to the dogs, you know, so just the tongue you can use for refreshing up. So for them, I think it's super hard to be on the sunshine, on the long heat. And down here on the field number 2, we have the artificial grass, which puts the heat from the bottom as well as from the top.
Yes.
So you are kind of like a toast,
Yes.
sliced together, warm from all sides.
It's interesting that you mentioned the second field, with the artificial grass on it, because in Ireland, I mean, here I accept it, but in Ireland I will refuse to go to a competition that has artificial grass,
Why so?
because underneath you have your concrete and you put your artificial grass on top, but a lot of times the concrete is not level, and when you're in a
Okay.
wheelchair and you sink in the artificial grass, you're on uneven surface. And so a lot of organizers don't realize this, or other archers, they think, oh, you're being difficult, or it's fine, it's move underneath
it's like
you.
a sliding to the side.
Yes. And the other thing is, when you draw and it's and you're moving, you feel you might fall over, so you tense up. So it's very difficult. I find it quite difficult. Here it's okay because I was prepared for this, and actually the concrete surface is okay on the field. But it's a concern if I go to a new venue and I know it has artificial grass.
And how is the tartan here? Because here we are on the athletic stadium, so we have the green football grass here in the middle, but around is the tartan. And you guys are shooting from the tartan part. That's quite a soft too, but hard at the same time. How is the surface there for the wheelchair?
So it's okay. I can feel it, the sponginess, and once I once you're parked, once you're there in your wheelchair, and you have shot an arrow and you realize how much you might move or not, then it's fine. So in that type of situation, that's preferred to the artificial grass. But in Ireland or at most competitions, I will be shooting on grass itself. So it's much more solid. You hit the ground straight away. Even if you sink in the grass, you hit the ground. So
And do you feel the difference if you have a football field? Because football field is like a little curved. So it's higher in the middle and then it goes a little down.
yeah.
Versus the normal archery fields, which are leveled because we don't really need a curve, because once it's raining everywhere. So we don't
Yes.
really need the grass to be perfect in this case. Do you feel the difference once you are on the side, or you just were always lucky enough to not be in the center of the pile up or down?
Oh, I have been in that situation, and a quick fix. Although most tournaments don't have it, but I've been lucky that it just seemed to be the case. But we've had bits of wood in a shed or something that somebody has gotten to make sure that
You level.
we're level. Yeah, but I can feel it if I'm uneven, and maybe a
would-
standing archer will not feel that, but I would feel that.
So what do you think the wood pieces would also help on the artificial grass, kind of to stop the moving?
I have not tried it. Well, sorry, I did try it, and it is a good fix.
So you kind of like a park on the flat surface and
Yes.
you make it hard and not soft enough.
Yeah. So when you put down a large piece of plywood on artificial grass, then it gives you a solid base. So because the weight is
Yeah, spread it.
the spread, it means you have a solid piece to work from. So in some cases, we have taken out plywood and used that for me to shoot off.
Yeah, I mean, because we have also in the rules that only 4 wheels can actually touch. Some archers, they have like the safety wheels just in case they are falling down. So there's this, like the other 2 extra. But officially they should not touch the ground, so they can still be there. And I mean, some archers even they shoot on the Segway. Have you ever tried like a Segway, like, or this kind of leveling movement?
No, I haven't. I have almost like a gyroscope thing. No, I haven't ever tried that myself. I got this chair specifically for archery, and so this is what I shoot from, and try to keep everything as consistent as possible.
So you have a special chair for shooting, and then you have a special chair for like a normal life.
Yes, because with the classification, with the backrest needing to be a specific height for open, it's very low. And a number of years ago, I had an operation on my back, so there's a fusion, and so I need support.
Yeah.
So when I'm here, I am coping with this
Yeah.
for a week or 10 days. But as soon as I go home, I'll be in my normal chair. And even if I'm training at home,
Yeah,
I
you
will
get the
transfer into my archery chair. And as soon as I'm done, I'm back into my normal chair. I'll come in the door, and I've had my team manager come for meetings at home after shooting. And I go, I'll be in the kitchen in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I just need to
I mean, it's
change.
like a switching shoes, you know. From
Yes.
like once you go off work and somebody wear high heels, you just like go home to the slippers and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just change it back.
I often hear myself shouting it, and I think such a strange sentence to say to somebody. I'll be out in a minute. I'm just changing my wheelchair.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has this world, and I mean, we didn't say it, but the difference in the chair, as you talk about the height, like officially is the 11 centimeters, which should be up to your armpit from the back of the chair.
Yes.
So that's why it needs to be lower than it's necessary, so you guys don't have the extra support. And we can actually see it now here for Petrolini Vincenza. She has very nice low back in the wheelchair, and if she would put her arm up, you could see that it's even more than 11 centimeters in her case, but the 11 centimeters is the minimum from kind of like the back of the chair. On the other hand, we have another nice example with Milana Alshevska. She's sitting on the stool, but the stool cannot have the back, so they don't have extra support, basically.
Yes. It's trying to find a way that everybody is shooting equally. So
Yep.
in horse racing, it would be called handicapping.
True.
So you're making sure that everyone is
Same,
is
on the same level.
different but the same.
Yeah, I mean, very true. And to be honest, the hard part is for the classifier, and also for the the rule inventors or the people who are responsible for keeping up updated the rules, and to make them as fair as possible. To kind of make the differences, because also classification make a lot of changes in terms of more classes. Now we have less classes because we had like a standing and then a sitting and many more, and it starts to be very confusing even for the classifiers. I think now with the open category it's much easier, because there's no more the pressures of I want to be here because there's less archers, therefore more options. So I just need to play out this one extra point to get in there.
Yes, that's always a hot topic in sport, that moral question and practical question, that when you attend your classification, you need to be as honest as possible. Almost like when you get drugs tested, it's on the individual, it's your body, your choice, or your responsibility. And so when you attend your classification, you need to be as honest as possible, so that that fairness exists for your other competitors.
I mean, so true, and now even the social media helps the classifiers to really classify the people.
Yes.
Because sadly, not always is the real fair play. And I mean, as you said, the drug testing, I mean, even here, since it's the world event, some people will be lucky enough to get the anti-doping control, even here. Especially, I think the ones who got their spot for Paralympics, but at the same time, I don't really know based on which key this doping control is happening. But yeah, like in every other sport, I think very famous is the cycling in this case.
Yes. Yes.
We are not that strict in some cases, but I mean, look at the start with this recurve girls.
Yeah, answering each other equally, 9 to 9.
Nicely spreading the target to half. Let's see if we meet in the middle.
Making it easy for us to call the arrows too.
And I mean, the sunshine helps us a bit again. We have much cleaner view. And you can see it doesn't really matter if you shoot right hand or left hand. It's possible for both ways. Sometimes we had a tendency to see even some archers starting on right hand, and then they switch to left hand.
Moving. Interesting.
Because they find out that the muscles are not so strong on one side, so then they just switch on the other side.
That's
just
true.
to use their handicap as wise as possible.
To compensate for a weakness.
Yeah, but Milana Alshevska, one of the most experienced archers, she's been around a lot.
Mhm.
But at this time, it's still not enough to take 2 set points.
No, but she's getting that 7 out of her system
Yep.
because they are very consistent arrows from both Petrelli and Milana.
Yeah, and looks like the Sunshine is getting better score.
We're just having all kinds of weather here. It's almost like being at home, actually.
Yeah.
All
The
kinds
April
of weather
weather.
in the one day. But yes, on the switching arms, for me, I have complete dexterity in my hands and my arms, but actually, I have my sensation in my right arm is lowered than my left arm. But so you need to learn what works for you as an archer, and especially one with an impairment. You adapt the equipment to suit you.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure the point, and I mean, until we get some scores, we can get some short break. And we for sure need to thanks as well today to our sponsors. So here they are.
Turnaj je fakt, že dobrý, na vysokej úrovni a samozrejme aj tie súboje, hlavne tie súboje o tie miesta na olympiádu sú teda veľmi zaujímavé.
My jsme rádi, že jsme se mohli vůbec zúčastnit tohohle turnaje, protože furt to bylo takové nejisté, jestli ten závod bude, nebude.
This tournament is incredible.
All right, so we are back, and we have the first results coming. And actually, on the compound side, Nathan McQueen and Alisina Manzarade, 30 points both. So what an opening time!
No, very exciting. On the other side of the field.
Yeah, I mean, today as well as yesterday, we are watching the full field, and of course it's not possible to cover all 48 targets.
No.
So that's why we are choosing just some matches. We are actually bringing all sort of divisions up to our televised match, and we try to keep you as updated as possible with the other results. But since our team and cameras are only limited, we always choose some matches which should be interesting enough for us to watch. And therefore we try to keep you busy with some results. And in the first arrows we can see that the ladies decided to go not to the center.
No, they've decided to chase the board a bit.
As we usually say in the national level, you know, I paid for the full target, so I want to use it.
It's only right.
Okay, they are back.
Yeah.
We are fine.
Another spot, a better spot on the board.
You know, maybe that was the video that like put them out to the day
Distracted
before.
them.
They kind of like were thinking how it was with the quota and so on, and now they actually realize that they are shooting.
Yes.
You can call it like the automatic movement, and now you are like actually on it, focused.
Yes.
Yeah, they are back.
Nice. A 10 would tie them up.
So long.
No, it wouldn't. But my maths are terrible. I apologize.
All good, all good. But I mean, even though the shot was so long, I think like too long for her normal shooting, she still made it up to the 9, and at least it supports her confidence for the next round, I would say.
Yes. She has an idea of exactly what she needs to do, and she's experienced enough. She should be able to answer that challenge.
Yeah, and I mean, Milana Alshevska already got the spot in Tokyo because she was second in the World Para-Championship in 2019. So she's just waiting for the games basically from the 2019.
Yes. It's such a long, and it's so uncertain. I was going to say it's such a long time to wait, but it is so uncertain. We have athletes who qualified in June of 2019, and we're ready and waiting for August 2020, and then it's postponed, and you see so many changes already happening in Japan, kind of week by week. It is a concern for them.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But I mean, in this case, Italy has 2 points because in World Championship, Sergey Atamenko had a mixed team won. They were second. And then there was the quota tournament, and Floreno Veronica got 8th place. Again, we are not really sure at the moment who will be the one actually coming to Tokyo. But maybe if Petrilli will made it to the gold final, maybe Italian team will make her to go to Tokyo. You never know.
It is a great headache to have.
And I believe it's a great one also for the coaches and the organizers. No, but I believe Italian team as well as the Britain and the US teams, they have their quota tournament or like qualifying tournament, which decided on the home soil who goes where.
Yes.
But in case of Milena, it's pretty clear because there is no other Polish lady which would took her spot, and
No.
it's pretty secure. So still 1 point difference every time. So we see if we get a very short match or if we will continue in the other ends.
I hope so. For the smaller teams that do qualify for games, from a para-archery point of view, or even para-sport, it is something I hope inspires other young athletes who want to take up the sport.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it's not just the para, it's even the normal Olympic Games.
Yeah.
When somebody qualifies to the games, even for the able bodies or para, it opened up the new wave of participants who likes the sport. And in para case, I think it opens up the eye that more things are possible. That even with people with a handicap, they can be able to travel, visit different countries, and do what they like. Because among all of these archers, and I believe even in your case, there is some remarkable stories behind how they find out the archery, why they started to shoot, and why archery was the one which they kept going for some years. In some cases, like almost forever, but
Yes, I mean, we have our staples, right? We have our archers that you see at every single competition, and it's like, well, it is old friends meeting again,
Yep.
but it's you know, you're guaranteed. I will definitely see this person.
yeah, and I mean, once the person is not visiting, it's like something happened.
know.
What happened? You need to find out.
It's a shock to the system.
Very true, very true.
And then you don't want to be nosy and be like, so where are they?
Very true. I mean, let's just have a look very fastly. Oh, we have a perfect 60 for a compound man open, Alisina Mansaradeh from Iran, versus 59 for Nathan McQueen from Great Britain. And what about our ladies?
We have an 8 from Milana, and Petrilli needs to
Start over
First,
and visualize
needs to
again
just
and
take a breath.
I mean, we are now still in the situation that both archers shoot on the same target. For a recurve, it's very hard, I would say, because in compound you have your own target. But for a recurve, you see the arrow hitting once you aim.
Yes.
And especially when it's hitting good, you kind of like need to still focus. And once you by a second start to think, oh, that was a good shot for the other one, it's gone.
Yes.
So either the best way I think is to start over.
Yes. Reset. Milena answered quite strongly there, actually.
Yeah, I think she doesn't want to give up. She's not that type.
No.
She is also very experienced, so she knows what to do. And I think for her, it should be very good preparation for Tokyo. And I think
Yes.
9 is good to start, so...
And she has a
missed the other one.
9 liner.
Should be also 9, right? Yeah. 2 8s, 3
It's
8s,
being called as an
3
8.
9s. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, let's see how it goes, but it looks we will continue with the matches. I'm actually interested if it will be 10 or 9,
Yes.
because always the images are making it a little different than it actually is. In this case, it would not be really the big difference, but it kind of makes your psychic, I think, go more up once it's 10 and not just 9.
Yep. Your sight marks are almost there.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, meanwhile, Elizabeth Amino 4-0 at the moment with Roxolana Djobabalan. Also Zara Nemati 4-0 and Sadik Savas versus Anton Zapaev also 0-4. And I mean, we are waiting just to get the other scores so we can clarify the other ones. And of course the first results come from the 50 meters from the compound side, and we can see some nice shots in the match for Ber Shigaev from Russia and Matteo Bonacina. 87 points for Russian archer, 83 for Italian. Jessica Stratton, it's tied up with Stepanida Arkanova And for the other matches, we are still getting some scores
And we
in.
have a winner on target number 34, Elizabeth Emilio
Czech
from
Republic
Italy.
has Teresa has pulled ahead of Leah from the USA.
And when we look at the other matches on this category, on target number 38,
Yeah, very tight matches also with Alexei Leonov from Russia and Karel Davidek. Just 2-point difference.
target number 48,
And we have a first winner. Elizabeth Aminho won over Roxolana Dzioba-Bailan. 6-0 win. Pretty clear there.
Mm-hmm.
No hesitation.
Inclusive.
And my commentator friend Kevin Matter is now losing 1-5 over Stefano Travesiani, so
Needs to dig in.
yeah. I mean, on the other hand, we will have extra commentator.
The archers are tied with the 3-3 set scores, and the archers are David Ivan from Slovakia and Nikola.
I mean, this is also interesting match for us and for you especially, because just in case Kevin is not in, he will be sitting in my chair tomorrow.
I'm stuck with the commentary tomorrow. I'll be sitting here and trying to man the desk, watch
like
the scores come in.
I would say also from the spectator point of view, I think here we have the best possibilities
Yes.
to actually be in the center of the attention. No tent are in your way. You have the best clear vision as possible.
Thinks that we have the most up-to-date information here too, with all of the scores coming in.
Very true, very true.
Nobody tall is standing in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, we are
my
the same
scope.
height once we sit down,
Yes.
so it's pretty clear for us. And I mean, our most perfect scores there, 89 points for Alesina Manzaradeh from Iran. And Nathan McQueen at the moment, 27 points for the end, so he's just 3 points down, and that's so hard to beat when your opponent goes 30-30, 29.
It is. It's compound, especially when you start seeing a gap open up. It's very difficult to close it. Again, there's that snowball effect that I was talking about earlier, where one opponent gains in confidence, which helps, and then the other opponent is chasing for scores, so that well, it does one of two things. It either makes you go after the score, or it can cause some nerves.
Yeah, I think also your personality is like, it needs to be either you are the chaser or you are the winner, and as we said, both has its pro and cons.
Yes.
And now you will see we have a nice look at the Petrolini clicker. Very close 9.
So the second time she's had to just reset.
Yeah, I mean, because I think the issue here is that the clicker is quite loud for the recurve archers, and once you know your opponent is drawing in the same time like you, the worst part that can happen, you release on the clicker of somebody else's.
Yes.
And
Like
in
an
this
automatic.
case, her shot was just great. And you can see the arrow is lying on the clicker, and once they pull a little bit down, it clicks and it's time to release. In compound, you have a little different technique. But here we can see that it's just on the tip of the knob, and it's just the time to go. And we were like too excited for the 10.
I think so. But it's okay. She will just shake it off and go again.
And I mean, she has still 2 set point lead, so. And Milena gave her some chances there.
She did. So So it's 10.
She's
to
very
win.
aware of it, and 10 is the answer you put to this chance.
Yes.
And again, we can see that the opponent is just giving up and giving the win to the other one. I mean, 1 point difference. And as we said, like, the 6
Yes.
is a bad, but if you put 2 10s
Mhm.
and your opponent gives you the 7,
Yeah.
you
It's
just
your
need to
time
grab
to
it.
try and take it. But very well done.
Yeah, I mean, very nice match. Look at how excited she is.
Needs to, I know it's very hard when you win, but you need to control it for the next match too, to be calm and...
Yeah, and here you can see the team support. Her colleague is coming down, very excited even for the other win of her teammate. And I mean, she still needs to be there. We will be still having one more round. So we will still be tracking her score and see how it is going.
We'll see how the other close, or the 5-1 matches are, how they finish.
Yeah, because again in the compound we are waiting for the 5 end. As this was the 4th one, it's more likely that we will have only the recurve. And yes, here are they. Zaranemati 6-2 win. Sajik Savas from Turkey 7-1 win versus Anton Zapaev. And let's wait how our Kevin did.
And we have a winner on track number 44, Sadik Savaş from Turkey. Won his
Oh,
match
he is...
and moves himself to the semifinals.
Oh.
We have some excited.
On target number 38.
I was focused on the scores and then I saw something from the corner of my eye and...
Yeah, I mean, I think she was the only para one to be in both Olympics and Paralympics, if I am correct. All
It is something else from a recurve perspective, that you have the opportunity to
Very
compete
true.
in the Olympics as well as the Paralympics, if you are a para-archer. So it's one of
Yeah, but I mean,
the
like in
opportunity.
compound, you have still the World Games.
you do. This is very true.
And look at Kevin, he fights back to 3-5. So he's praying for shoot-off. And I mean, yesterday he told me that he loves shoot-offs. So
Okay.
maybe he just wants there to make some things for us.
Yes.
And yeah, actually, other than these 3 matches, the rest is still continuing. So let's have a look on the compound side and W1 side. So in compound women, very, very tight match, 108 for Carmen Rubio and Farzanarek Asghari from Iran. Another tight match, Jessica Stratton and Stepanida Artakinova. I mean, they were tied up even before. So
They were
still
stayed with each
very
other.
tight. 1 point difference for Daniel Lelu and Victor Skribin.
And Nathan McQueen shot a 30 on his last end, so he's
Yeah.
closed the gap to just 2 points now.
Yeah, his opponent only 29 again.
Only 29.
I know, it sounds like it's normal. It's as we can see that it's not normal to get a 30. But yeah, I mean, he has still 1 end to go. Before it was 3 points lost. Now it's just 2 points.
Yes.
So big chances there. And in W1, something has to happen with Lisa Coriel, because her end just 17 points over Teresa Brandltova with 28 points. So I think it could be some sort of like a time pressure, because with W1 it's of course very difficult, and as the sun is coming back, I think it starts to be very hot over there.
Potentially. And it is the 3rd day for them too. Well, it's the 3rd day for everybody, but it's with the amount of heat and change of conditions, it must be very tiring for them.
Yeah, and I
this
mean,
week.
look at it. It's not just for Lisa Coriel. In this end, also Anna Ilina shot only 15 points and Victoria Ramari 25. So maybe, like, there's something happening with these ladies. Maybe the heat is really taking them down. Because with one end before, also Fatma Danabas shot only 14, now 18 points. Versus Sharka Musilova, which had constant 24 points in these cases. So, I mean, as we talk, W1, it's they have the most difficulties, let's say it this way. And we kind of need to understand that these changes of super hard rain, now very bright sunshine, it's probably not really good for their psychology and also for their body.
Yes.
They need to really fight back. And we can see again the Slovakian team crowd supporting David Ivan. He's currently losing 3-5 versus Mikola Halicic, which we know from the first match from today, from the Ukrainian archer. So let's see how the other scores will pop in as the archer and coaches go to score.
We won't have long. They're on their way now.
Yeah. Of course, the first will be again the compounders with their 50 meters.
Yes.
Then the recurve ones will come out on the 70 meters. But I mean, you can see that it started to be long week. Everybody's kind of slower today.
Yes.
Even the volunteers are like no rushing there, just slowly walking. Maybe it's still not too hot because they just lie down the umbrellas not to even shade them.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they get the opportunity to be dry now.
I would still suggest if they had umbrellas to keep the sun off themselves, if it is causing them to shoot lower scores, I would probably recommend keeping the sun off your back.
Very true, very true.
Everybody's getting great use out of the water bottles.
Very true. I mean, we get two colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Green and the orange one with this, I think nowadays even iconic logo for this tournament.
Yes.
You can see it always moving now in these short daily videos which we got in.
I did not get a green bottle, which I think was poor planning.
Oh, okay, okay.
I got an orange one, but that's absolutely
you
fine.
can trade it with somebody else.
No, I think I'm happy with my orange.
Yeah, we have some scores coming in, and as we had before, already the 3 ends tied match with Jessica Stratton and Stepanida Artakinova, we will have a shoot-off over there. And it looks like also our friend Kevin Mather has also shoot-off, and also our Slovakian and Ukrainian archer 5-5. And Julia Chupin looks like she loves shoot-offs.
Yes.
This morning was not enough for her in her mixed team match.
No.
And she will shoot off also with Onzur Küre from Turkey. Very interesting. And I mean, our Nathan McQueen, he just tied with 28 Alisina Mansarade, but still it was not enough to take the lead, so he kept his 2 points difference, but either way he lost. Daniel Lelu, we saw him in the France mixed team. He is the winner, 144 points.
The winners of the quarterfinals on target number 3.
Per Shigalev from Russia beat Matteo Bonacina over 6 points there. Teresa Brandltova beat
12.
Lisa Coriel
Askari from this
121-112.
Maria Andrea
Sharka Musilova 122 win over Fatma Danabas 110.
on target number 9.
Igor Meshkov 131 versus Salvatore Demetrikov 122. Gaspar Tomáš 138 won over Bahatin Heyklimoglu. Yigit Kaner Aydin from Turkey 143 points versus Kudong Sup 133 points.
28. Tamas Kaspar from Hungary.
And 128 point, 1 point win actually for Karel Davidek. So he flipped the match because he was losing at the beginning. And he actually won over Alexei Lenov from Russia. Margarita Sidorenko 7-3 win with Dorotea Poimenindu. And Tulu Jeum from France won 7-3 versus Park Jumbom. So I think like a nice score. We have some 30s also in this end. And now we will just get the shoot-offs done as it's getting prepared for them.
There's plenty of people getting into their stride now with their
Yeah,
ends
everybody's
with 30.
moving and we still want to finish the shoot-offs
Yes.
before the last round for today. Here we can see Sharka Musilova. She's also qualified to Paralympics on the World Championship. And they will have a mixed team for W1 there, together with David Drahoninsky. And we get some of the shots for the shoot-off. And I mean on target 45 from here for David Ivan from Slovakia. It looks like a 10. And I don't know if you can see the 44.
I can't. My view is just obstructed.
So there we have to wait. For the confirmation of the shoot-offs.
The only thing about us being over here is if we were over there with the rest of the spectators, we would know. We would
Because there's always
hear
this
the
one
screaming.
person who has the scope.
Yeah.
And he's telling everybody what's happening. Which is, of course, not our case at the moment.
No.
We are relying on the cameras down here and sometimes on our vision. But now, let's just keep an eye on the judges. And let's wait for them to tell us who is the winner with their arms. And we can see that Julie Chupin actually is the winner. So her shoot-offs are still lucky enough.
She knows what she's
It
doing.
looks like Jessica Stratton with nice X won over Stepanida Artakinova. And Kevin, even though he loves the shoot-off, he gets an 8 and his opponent Stefano Travesiani 9. So sadly he's not coming, so which is a good thing for you, because now you have your colleague secured for tomorrow. I hope not a lot of Kevin's friends is hearing us at the moment.
No, it wouldn't sound good, would it?
Number 42, Stefano.
Okay, and let's wait for the Slovakian-Ukraine match decision. As sadly, that's the only one which we cannot really see because of the tent for the cameras.
Oh, we have it.
And there it is. Okay, so David Ivan got a 10 and Mikola only 9. So Slovakian cheer group is still continuing.
Yes.
With their archer.
Lots of flag waving and lots of cheering.
There's the crowd we talk about in the morning. How is it nice to have the support from your teammates.
Yes.
And I think once the rain is stopped, we get more of them at the moment.
People aren't hiding under tents or trees.
So true. I mean, we are slowly getting ready for the last round of the semi-final, and then tomorrow, good information to all the spectators, because tomorrow, as we have a normal final matches, only one match will be televised and only one match will be happening.
Yes.
So you will have all the details, all the images from what's going on
They can follow along with us.
right away on the field. Today, however, you can see that we go up to target 48. Therefore, you can imagine how widespread is for this field. And even from our end, which is close by on the target 48, what's happening kind of on the compound side is almost invisible. I mean, I can just see that on the target there is hanging some target face. But in order to say like what was hid there,
Yes. I can see the flags. Does that count?
I mean, at least you know where the butters are.
Yes.
So close enough for me.
I could tell you what way the wind is blowing.
So true, so true. I mean, even though we would actually have scope over here, the angle for us is almost impossible either way to just
It
have a
is.
look what's happening over there. And we can see that we can see some coaches there getting some rest.
They're feeling the heat as much as the athletes are. More, well, maybe not the heat, but the pressure.
Very true, very true. Okay.
And now
So
the target assignment
still some target need to be changed.
Compound man category.
And our TV match
Russia will shoot at target number
looks
3.
like we will have ladies
Asina
W1,
Bangladesh.
Victoria Ramari and Sharka Musilova.
Will shoot on target
Victoria
number 4.
actually,
We see Sergey Atamenko
and as I was saying this morning, but I was not really sure at that moment, but she is the one coming to Tokyo
Okay.
in the W1 category.
on target number 11, I mean the compound women category. Target number 11, Jessica Stratton from Great Britain will shoot.
And she actually was happy enough to get it yesterday with the final quota. And I think she's also the only one in the team, so there's no doubt that she is the one coming there. So actually, this match is very interesting for us by many reasons. One thing is that both of these ladies is coming to Tokyo, so for them it can be like that they will meet very soon on the field back there to see.
So this is a pre-match or a...
Kind of like a test event, just on the completely different side.
I was going to say it's like a friendly, but it's not really like a friendly.
Yeah, in this case probably not. I mean, we will have a look, to be honest, but you know, in my case I think also the warm weather at the moment, which is starting to be after the rain, it's kind of like a humid weather which is in Japan at the moment. And here we have a nice images of the arrow rest for the compound bow, and we talk about the W1 category being kind of like a mixture of the recurve category and the compound category. So less poundage, side only for the kind of like a recurve bow. And also we can have a look later on once they will shoot on Victoria wheelchair, because she has the safety wheels we talked about earlier. And another interesting thing is that actually like the both archers in this match are left-handed, so we can have a look at the nice back movements. Not really the focus in their eyes at the moment.
Yes, and if anybody at home has forgotten what country they're from, we'll be able to see their jerseys.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we also doesn't need the graphic with their names because we have their back. So
Exactly.
actually, it's very good, and it can save us some time with the graphics.
And Margarita Simorenko from Russian Federation will shoot attack number 27.
We can
against
see the
Nove
nice sunshine, which is like changing all sorts of colors there. No wind anymore. It's like the rain would never happen, and it was just like a few hours ago.
I know. Came and went.
You can very easily forget something like that happened, right? Yeah, and it looks
mean-
like we will continue very shortly.
I know the image is just gone, but if you had any doubts that this was an archery tournament, the umbrellas with the targets on them would give it away, right?
Very true, very true. I mean, we have these two types of target: the field targets, the black and yellow, and then these colorful ones like the targets. And I think I always like to see those on the tournaments because it's kind of like if you look in front, they are the targets. If you look back, then they are the umbrellas, and it's kind of mirroring the images
Yes.
on both cases. And that's always very nice to see. You can see some serious strapping for Sharka Musilova. And as we said, W1 category, they can have more strapping than the rest of you guys. Sorry for that. You have to have only the 5 centimeters width.
Yes.
In their cases, we are happy that they are strapped. Let's say it this way. Of course, there's like some long medical talk behind, but
And safety issues.
yeah.
Reasons for having them.
And we are just confirming if everything is set up correctly. And it looks like it is, so we can see even that there's a strap over the knees. So you can really hold together.
If we were to make it similar to when you shoot as an able-bodied person for every archer, the core is where you get your strength, and for a lot of wheelchair users, especially W1s, the core needs extra support.
Very true. I mean, some archers use it very often, some don't. I mean, it also depends how active you are at the moment, you know, how well you feel, because of course, even you are disabled, you have some bad and good days, and it happens to everybody that sometimes you just feel tired, and I guess in that times you strap more just to kind of get the support you could get. And even some archers, they have in their classification card actually written strapping, but you never see them strapped.
Okay.
So,
They have the option.
yeah. I mean, all of these tools extra they can get is options for them. Not all will use it, of course, but I would say majority does. Here we changed the Czech fans over the Slovakian fans. So let's see how they will cheer up.
Well, I think it's nice. We have a tournament in Czech Republic. We have Czech Archer televised. Well,
And this is the last
streaming.
match of today. So now we just need to hope that she will win, just to have the perfect end. Because for Victoria was the perfect end already yesterday with gaining the quota.
yes.
And this is just the extra cherry on top, which you can just get over this tournament. But it looks like any moment we will continue.
Something to bring home in the suitcase.
Very true. I mean, most of the time the archers are flying, and you know, usually you win the flowers. But once you know you're flying back to your home country, and especially now after Brexit, I don't think they will allow you to bring the flower to home, actually.
Well, again, I haven't been able to travel to the UK since 2020, so
True.
I'm not sure since everything came in. But they get loads of nice photographs if they're not allowed to.
True. Alright, so we can have the look at the different bow setups for the compound. You can see that there is no clicker because everything is done at the end of the limbs. And it's a pretty good start.
It is.
9 and 8. And you can see that it was pretty fast shots at the beginning. Like no long aiming,
No.
just a pull and click.
Yes. Right into it.
So 7 for Sharka, so she needs to go back to her previous setup. You can see nicely the arrow rest coming up for the compound. And I mean the grouping is quite good.
It is. Just needs to move the sight.
Easy, huh?
Yeah. That's all you have to do. Just do
Yeah,
that.
just move the side and you will be fine. Yeah, we
She knows
always love
better,
the
though.
spectators there.
Yes. And we have an 8
8
from
there.
Victoria. So close to the end. Just GB out in front at the end
Yeah,
of the
but
first
1 point
end.
difference is still good, and
Yes.
especially for W1 category, you know, everything is possible. We saw that in the previous matches that somehow there was this always one end where they just lost that one arrow, and it could go all over, or it could just be that they really messed up that one arrow. And I mean, from here we don't really see what happened there, because we don't have a clear view for the shooting line, so we can just guess what was there. Yeah, we can see some pep talk for the coach. It's always nice to have the good support
Yes.
with your teammates and coaches.
We see with the masks going back on, we need to, if you are somebody like me who needs to breathe and experience breathing with the mask on while waiting for the arrows to come back, it is definitely a different, there's different sensations going on with sounds and heat against your face, which you might not be used to.
Very true, very true. And I mean, we saw with Shark and also with other archer that the good tactic is to just start to drink water. Because then you basically just get refreshment at the moment, so nobody will really push you to put the face mask on at the moment.
Just
Of course,
taking
it's
a
not
beat.
ideal.
No.
No, but we have a first results coming in with perfect 30. Sergey Atamenko and Daniel Lelu 29 to respond for this match. Also Maria Andrea Virgilio 29 point versus Julia Chupin 27. Jessica Stratton very strong 30, and her opponent Fazare Asgari 29 point. So I mean, we are getting better and better score every round. So as we are coming closer to the decision who goes to the gold matches and who goes to the bronze matches, we can see that really the best are staying.
Yes.
That the system of the brackets is set up quite fairly. Of course, sometimes with this one arrow shoot-off you had some differences, but yeah, it's the difference. Now here we have actually a very nice look on the arrow rest for a compound bow, and once you pull it, it goes up to support more the arrow. And as you said, once it falls down from the arrow rest, are you the one pushing it back with your front finger, or you start over?
I want to. In practice, I just pop. But in competition, I think it's best to let down and start
over.
again. But in practice,
Yeah, we all are in a way lazy.
yeah.
Yeah, here we have a different set, and you can see the string down there attached. So then basically that's caused the rotation and the arrow rest going up. And also for the W1 bow, we can see that there is just a normal sight. It's just no bubble for the leveling in their bows. Very close match also for Bear Sigaev. 29 points tied with 29 points for Alisina Manzharader. And on the recurve side, Elisabetta Migno, I think, still very strongly with 2-point lead. She's not giving any options, as well as Zara Nimati.
No, but you can see that Elisabetta is shooting against her teammate.
Yeah, our favorite Petrolini, which we saw in the previous match. We for sure know that Italy will be in the gold match, and also from the bronze match.
They will.
Now we just need to find out which name will appear on which side.
We'll hear lots of cheering in both of those matches.
And now we can go back to W1. 8 again in the top. I think she didn't hear us with moving her side.
No, and we were trying to be so helpful.
Yeah, and she's just super close here.
Um,
But Victoria also 8. So I mean, there's the sun is a little hidden at the moment behind the clouds. Oh, now she moved. But still 8. So there's some chance for Victoria.
Another
Nope.
8. They want
They
to
want the
stay.
shoot off. I think they want to keep consistency.
I think so. They agreed to this before the match started. There,
8.
an 8 again. Let's see what Victoria has on this arrow. And
10 answer. That's a nice
Okay.
answer.
That
I mean,
is.
for some spectators who are with us longer, you can see that there are 3 different sizes of the targets. You can see the full target face, 122 centimeters, which is over the full buttress. Then over here for W1 category, we have 80 centimeter target. And then for the compounders, we have still 80 centimeters. We just reduce it because, let's be honest, there is not many black and whites when it comes to the compounders.
No, you would hope not. At this level.
At this level,
At
for
this
sure.
level.
So we decided to save some space and save some paper. So, and actually also the arrows, because this is one of the reasons why we have the reduced targets for the compound. So then each archer can get their own target, and we could still fit it on the buttress.
Of course, it is very dangerous shooting with somebody else on your target with the
Especially
with
when
the
you have a
compound.
good opponent.
Yes.
Because then not even you just lose, you even lose your arrows.
Yes. And they're not cheap.
Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm thinking what's more expensive is if it's the knock or the tube or the fletching or the point. And we can see Jessica Stratton continues her road. 30 points again, perfect 60 at the moment. And Iranian archer, she has 4 points already after the second end, and that starts to be a little problematic at the moment.
It is. I mean, she's shooting phenomenally, and if the Iranian archer is looking at it or catches a look at her opponent's target, that with itself brings problems.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And we have another perfect score, 60 points for Sergey Atamenko, shooting versus Daniel Lelu with 57 points. So, I mean, he has, I would say, only 3-point difference, but still, you don't want to have these opponents shooting 30 all the time.
No, if they're in the zone, then
Yeah.
it's very hard to get into their head, because there's nobody getting in.
Yeah, it's just the momentum, they keep it going, keep it rolling. But look at it, Elizabeth Amino, our strong shots, she's now tied up 2-2 with her teammate, Petrilli Vincenza. I think maybe it was also a tactic and she wanted to give her these 2 points so she doesn't feel so sad, so it's not like...
Of course, it's a very close match. We'll give the Italian team 2 people to cheer for. So then if they decide to take the tactic of cheering for somebody that's a little bit behind, then they can share the cheering, right?
Very true, very true. And I mean, another tight score with Margarita Sidorenko and Zara Nimati, 2-2 again. So, I mean, it looks like only one match could be 6-0, because currently Sadik Savas from Turkey has a 4-0 lead over David Ivan from Slovakia. So it looks like our Slovakian fan club over here will be cheering only for the bronze match. I mean, only.
This
Among all of these archers, it's a great achievement, of course.
I can see some cheers from their fan group already, trying to give him some positivity and energy.
Yeah, I mean, his opponent shot 30 in this end, so it's very hard to respond to that one.
Yes.
But let's go back to this match. 8 and 9. 9 for Victoria. That's a very nice 10.
That is, and a good way to try and
Yeah, it
attack
should be nice.
a 9.
Tying up, so what will be the response over there? Ah, it's a 7. It was not the strong finish you hoped for, I would say.
No.
And a 9. Very nice shooting, all 9s. And she's extending the lead there.
As that gap starts to open up, you want to try and reset.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance. We have still 2 ends to go. And maybe with some perfect score, Victoria could start to be scared a bit, and maybe she could also do some mistake. But first you need to shoot good, and then hope for the rest.
The next end would be a perfect time to shoot a perfect end.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited to see how Jessica Stratton and as well as Sergey Atamenko will do. They will continue their road and go up to 90 or not. We will see in a few moments.
Are we setting a personal challenge to them?
Oh yeah, I mean, it would be the great closure of today to have some perfect scores on the world ranking event. And actually, as this is the first like a real big event, we have of course Dubai, but that I think would not really for everybody, because a lot of countries were still like really afraid to travel, or there were a lot of restrictions, so they just could not, even though they would love to. So coming back after almost these 2 years and then having some perfect scores, what better can be?
Such a feel-good story to leave. Well, there's so many feel-good stories from this week,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for the tournament itself, it would be fantastic.
And look at it, Jessica did it.
Oh,
90
look.
points there. So another perfect 30. So I mean 6 points difference now. Very hard to beat, and even harder to keep up the 30.
Yes.
And our Sergey Atamenko, actually this time 27 points. In his case, only 27 points. So Jessica is currently the only one with the 90 points. And I mean, now we need to cheer for her to keep it up. And
We do. All positive vibes.
And even the recurve side is not decided yet. To Collegium 5-1 over Stefano Travesiani. So still there are some open doors, as well as Elisabetta Migno actually losing currently 2-4 with her teammate Petrelli Vincenza. Margareta Sidorenko also losing at the moment with Zara Nemati. So basically now the recurve side completely switched to the other side.
They just want to extend our commentary for as long as possible.
Probably. I mean, too bad that they could not really hear us. But even our Slovakian friends, they got the 2 points, so it's 4-2 for Sadik Savas, but our David Ivan from Slovakia, with his big fan club over there, still got a chance to get some good score. And I mean, of course, we cannot miss our Russian compound archer Bear Shigaev with 89 points. He started with 29, now continuing with 30 and 30. So of course, it should be mentioned.
It should. Fantastic to get 130. He's got 2 and Jessica's got 3. Oh, a nice...
Looks like tense.
Nice fight. We did ask for a good end, didn't we?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, maybe they heard this 90, 89, and I think they want to come at least close to there. But this is not the way how we go close to these scores.
No. Unfortunately.
This is the way.
Yes. It's Victoria
And I
with
mean,
a second 10.
she is in the zone now.
Yes.
And Sharka is just opening up the doors. And
Got another
a
10.
little close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
That's an interesting one. So we are back where we were in this in this case.
Very excited staff behind. We've got
Very
the whole
true. You
team.
can see the Czech assistant over there, very cheering. Like, yes, we had the chance again.
It means so much to every archer out there.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And it looks like the Slovakia will go over to 4-4.
They've got fight in them. Want to make sure they're there's thumbs up and cheers and.
I mean, it doesn't matter that we don't see really the archer, because from these 3 Slovakian teammates, you can we
Yeah.
continue this match. because all of their cheers, handing up, that's perfectly the spirit we spoke in this morning.
Yes.
That's the very needed team spirit, and even the support Charka is getting now, it's I think important also for her to kind of be still, okay, have still the good mood. And here was the USA train coming by. As you can see, not always you guys need to use the arms to move your wheelchair.
No. Again, another thing when you have teammates, they're able to give you a
lift?
a lift. So you see some teams and they have maybe 3 or 4 people all holding on to onto each other.
A lot of times I was thinking like if it's even possible, and I mean speaking about even possible, Jessica Stratton another 30,
Oh my
120
God.
points at the moment, and we have still one end to go, and I mean now I am cheering only for her.
Yes.
Bear Shigaev 119, unless he would not miss the 10 in the first end, he would be just like Jessica Stratton at the moment.
Yep.
And I mean, knowing you have 120, you just need to get your head straight and empty to not go over the pressure you put on yourself with this perfect score. And I mean, with recurve, in this case, we get 4-4 for our Italian team, as well as the other ladies, Margarita Sidorenko and Zara Nemati. As we said, for Slovakia, we thought it was 4-4, but it was actually tied 28, but still 5-3 is enough for them to continue. And Asia Peliziari 92 points and Teresa Brandutova 98 points for W1 category, which is actually the winner goes there, and it may happen that we will have a Czech duel or not. Let's see how this goes. Currently it looks like we don't, but we have still one more end to go. And I mean, I don't know how you, but I'm just cheering for Jessica Stratton at the moment.
Well, we're able to watch this match and we've got to wait until we see the results come in. But
which makes it more nervous.
It does. It would be amazing if she was able to just continue that and be consistent and get her 30 points. Because after shooting 4 ends of 30, you kind of deserve you deserve the 5th one, right?
Yeah, and I mean 29, it will not do the trick.
No.
Okay, 8, not bad for the start.
And then 9.
Answer with 9, it's something different.
Now, as amazing as Jessica's score would be, regardless, she would definitely want to see it untarnished.
Oh, very true. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if there was some world record for the compound women category with the perfect score in the elimination matches. But let's just be at the moment with our match at the moment. 9 for both. And a nice finish with a 10.
An 8, but enough to win.
Yeah, yeah.
And plenty of time left on the clock too.
Yeah, super fast. I mean, another time for some extra arrows. 30 seconds left.
Just means that we have to wait 30 seconds to see what the result of the other matches are.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, unless we have some shoot-offs, which we maybe could have, that would be the last end we just watched. and we really need to find out Jessica's score, because 120 at the moment with one end to go. I mean, what a match, what a finish for today.
Amazing. Such a nice way to finish off after all of the conditions that those archers were under today.
So true. A mix of rain, very big sunshine, cloudy, and then the sun is coming again. We just call it back in. And meanwhile, we find out that Tukulai Gium from France, one who won the quota tournament of the continent here, is moving to the gold final. So I mean, perfect week for him.
Yes.
With a 1-7-1. And let's just wait for the score.
Our tight match with Daniel Lelou of France earlier. We'll see whether or not he's shooting twice tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, Jessica Stratton, sadly 28 on the last one. I think the pressure was too high for her, and I cannot really see it at the moment, but I think the last error was the 8th.
Yes.
But even though 148, she actually tied with Bear Shigaev, because he shot another 29, so both of them 148 points of 150 maximum.
Yes.
I think like we could not ask for a better finish. And actually there is no more shoot-off. Elizabeth Aminho takes the win over her colleague. Zara Nemati switch off also and takes the win for 6-4. Sadik Savas 6-4 win over our Slovakian David Ivan. But even though they lose, I think even the bronze is well-deserved match.
Yes.
And
For
we
sure.
will have very, very interesting matches for tomorrow. Victoria Ramari, she's the winner with 133 points. We saw that, and she will go over with Teresa Brandltova, so another Czech lady waiting for her in the bracket. And another gold match will wait for Gaspar Tamas from Hungary. I mean, it was a great day. The weather turned up nicely. Everybody got their score, and tomorrow is just waiting for an extra day. And I think the sunshine will stay with us for the rest of the tournament.
I hope so. You can see you can feel there's some commiserations out there, but for the most part, you just see celebrations, and it's fantastic.
Of course, I think everybody is in a way happy that they survive this day.
Yes.
And the tournament so far. Of course, the ones who are going to the gold match, but even on the bronze match, because semi-final is like a bittersweet in both cases.
Yes.
Because either way, you still fight for something. And in these cases, I think it's well deserved, because these scores in the semi-final match were really remarkable.
Yeah, they were.
So thank you so much for coming. Thank you all guys for watching, and we are coming back for tomorrow with our final setup for mixed team and individual matches. So thank you for being with us.
No problem. I look forward to being with everybody tomorrow again.
And we will have actually Kevin here as well. So we were lucky enough for him to stay in the competition. So
He might not think that, but we're very lucky to have him tomorrow.
I think he is lucky to be here with you tomorrow. So thank you for being here, and hear you soon tomorrow. Bye bye.
See you then.
Watch the maximum performance this afternoon. And for tomorrow, there will be some changes on the schedule. So please be aware and control the schedule from the INSO website. Once more, just a reminder to the tomorrow's schedule. There will be some changes on the schedule for individual medal matches. So, you have to check the schedule from the INSO website. And please don't forget to get your souvenir cards from the pigeon boxes. You know where they are? They are the team boxes on the first floor.